Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show that can be a long lecture or short and sweet. Today we're talking about Enduring Scalelord. But before we get into this dragon, remember to like, sub, and ring YouTube's bell. Okay, Enduring Scalelord is a 4/4 flyer for 4, a green, and a white. Whenever one or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, you may put a +1/+1 counter on Enduring Scalelord. So this is a card you probably wouldn't look twice at. So the bare bones of this is if you have 2 of these guys on the battlefield and you put a +1/+1 counter on one of them, the other one gets one. And then the first one gets another one. And then the other one gets another one. And they keep bouncing off each other, getting bigger and bigger until you decide to stop the loop. This also happens if you put a +1/+1 counter on another creature that isn't one of the Scalelords you control. Now while this is a nice little combo, at 6 mana apiece, these dragons are too pricey to play in Modern. And you can't have 2 Scalelords in an EDH deck where this combo could actually thrive. So how can we make this work? Well, you'll probably want to run another color. You can get a second Scalelord quite easily by playing any copy effect like Twin Flame to make another Scalelord until end of turn. Or with Bramble Sovereign, you can pay an additional 2 mana to copy your Scalelord as it comes in. Or you can just use one of the many clone creatures to make a copy of the Scalelord when the clone enters the battlefield. Next you'll need a way to put a +1/+1 counter on your Scalelords, which again is quite easy. Graph cards allow you to move a +1/+1 counter from the graph card to another creature when that creature enters the battlefield, or Oran Reef the Vastwood can be tapped to put a +1/+1 counter on all green creatures that entered the battlefield this turn, including any of your clones that were turned into a green-white dragon. Good Fortune Unicorn and Juniper Order Ranger both put a +1/+1 counter on a creature when it enters the battlefield under your control, and Cathar's Crusade puts a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control whenever a creature enters the battlefield under your control. You can also just cast one of the many spells that puts a +1/+1 counters on creatures, like Feat of Resistance. All of these options start the loop to make your 2 massive dragons. But you can shortcut this process by combining the copy effect and the +1/+1 counter effect. Both Altered Ego and Spark Double can enter the battlefield as a copy of Enduring Scalelord, but they come in with a various amount of +1/+1 counters depending on the card you use. Both of these cards start the embiggening process without the need of a third card. You get a similar effect with Artisan of Forms, a 1/1 creature that has a heroic effect that says whenever you cast a spell that targets it, you may have it become a copy of target creature except it keeps this ability. So if you have your Scalelord and your Artisan out and you target the Artisan with a spell that gives it a +1/+1 counter, you can turn it into your Scalelord and then it gets the counter from the spell, starting the loop. And that is how you can combo off with a big pair of dragons. Have you ever used Enduring Scalelord before? Did you know about this combo before? It's kind of a low-key combo card. Will you now use it in your Naya or Bant deck? Let me know in the comments down below. And until next time, when you need a new combo, I'll be right here on the internet.